Thank you once again for joining me today on our mutual yet independent journeys towards the common goal and from that common source called resilience. This is another installment of the open journal, the public ledger, the blockchain of resilience, where I'm guaranteeing you that this episode will change your perspective on the present moment. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. I'm going to try and use my most eloquent and elegant voice that mimics those first words in the Bible. In the beginning. That's the topic for today, in the beginning. Now, of course, that was a pretty feeble attempt to get a resonant, opening statement about this discussion today, in the beginning. But let's go with that. That's my best. So, as usual, I give you more questions today. Where do you start? Where do you end? Where do I start? Where do I end? How about this? Where do we begin? Of course, a logical question. Where do we end? How do we continue? Or maybe we should say, we begin to continue. We begin each day to live. Oh, also, we begin each day, to die. So do you see the power of those three magic words and the Tamba 6 words I've mentioned to you before? We really do not have an actual definitive beginning and ending. Certainly, we can probably point to a document that says we were born on a certain day, certain time from these two people, human beings, mother and father. That could probably serve as a reference point for our quote-unquote beginning. And unfortunately, just for clarity and context for this discussion today, should we have that final ending on our epitaph or our gravestone, there'll be a date that was when we departed this physical life. So I guess you could look at it that way. But to me, it's lacking on the substance and answering fully and with more clarity on this whole beginning and ending question. I say this. Even though the Bible was saying in the beginning, of course, the Word was God, the Word was with God, we get that. But all we really can know, this comes from me to you. I am no biblical scholar or religious, expert, or even know much of anything. All I know is my history. All I know is what I'm coming to understand of as my purpose right now. I'm going to say this. All we can know is the truth of this present very moment. All we can know is the truth in this moment as I'm relaying these words to you and you're receiving them in your heart and in your ears. That's all we have right now as far as the truth of this moment. But that would beg a further question. When did this moment begin? When does this moment end? I guess we could simply say this moment, you and I, in this episode, it probably will summarize with those questions by saying it started with the beginning of this episode and it'll be at the end when these 500 seconds run out. Beginning and ending of this moment with you and Ming. But is that accurate enough about this question about beginning and ending? I guess in a way it does satisfy the top level answering that question. What starts when? What ends when? But when I mentioned to you a few moments ago about what we can only know about the truth of this moment, but then it doesn't answer the question. It opens up another part of that Pandora's box about what was before this moment, what continues after this moment. How can we be clear on what was the definitive beginning and ending of this moment? Except what I'm offering to you as, could you consider the only thing we know in the beginning is the truth of this moment. Now, in these discussions, or more particularly in this topic today, this particular episode today, you generally know when you clicked on this episode to download it. But did that start? Was that the beginning of your interest in this? Was it out of nowhere? Or was there some precursor to your interest, not in me, maybe the name 820 podcast, and digging a little deeper, the thing about resilience, the book itself, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, this thing about beauty, drive, essence, these kind of fluffy things that probably didn't turn you off, but it kind of like got you interested in deciding to listen to a podcast or two in the 820 enterprise. But even that, it's difficult to decide what is the beginning, what is the end. So I'm offering you not an answer, just another parallax approach to addressing and observing that question that contains the answer. Again, I'm saying to you, those genuine, original, sincere questions by you contain the answers you're looking for. So even though I cannot address or give you guideposts or signposts about what exactly is the beginning, what exactly is the ending of a thing, an event, and observations, I'm offering to you this perspective. Can we agree and at least consider the truth of this moment as the beginning? And maybe going a step further, there is no ending to that truth. And every moment we wake up into ourselves, wake up into another opportunity to discover ourselves, why we're here, what we do, how we'll do it. Just maybe that gives us the indication of what the beginning is, and there is no ending. Because every moment that we are allowed to pursue, to gain confidence, humility, reduce the arrogance, the vanity, and the ego and fear, we can move forward with the truth, not concerned about the beginning or the ending. Hopefully I can give you more on this. Maybe you out there have a better explanation or perspective of what is the beginning, what would be the ending, or maybe you like the idea that one thing that is the beginning, is the essence to continue going forward, is the truth of this moment. Thank you once again. Stay present. Stay current. It's always 820.